This is Moments with Foo with James Foo Torres, better known as Foo, the show that takes you around the world to share interviews with some of the most successful and relevant people on the planet, hear their stories, and get the most important business lessons they have learned on their road to success, and get exclusive advice on how to implement their success into your life and business. Moments with Foo is brought to you by the Strategic Advisor Board and your host, Foo.
Hello and welcome to Moments with Foo. I'm your host, James Foo Torres, but you can call me Foo. Hence the name of the podcast. And today I have the founder of Focus First Consulting, Geoff Skadra. And I'm going to let him tell you more about that and probably correct his name because I might have not pronounced it right. But first, Geoff, how are you?
Hey, yeah, I get that all the time. It is Geoff, just like Jeff. But don't worry about it, man. We live in this club. The GEOFFs of the world live in this club where we're constantly getting Geoffs and we're constantly telling people how to spell our name over and over again. So don't worry about it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I kind of knew. I was like, damn, did I? And I asked you when we talked last time, but obviously it's just, I don't know. I'm not great with names. Let's say that. But anyway, let's go past that and just get into a quick introduction about like what you do and who you are.
Yeah, man. Thanks a lot. So I've been doing marketing for about 20 years, and I'm currently helping marketing agencies create scalable service-based businesses that can 2 and 3x revenue with about 50% net profit. My big thing is getting the business owners out of the self-employment trap that really plagues all business owners everywhere, but particularly marketing agency owners.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I mean, that's just something that it's very, very important right now. Like everybody's looking to how do I grow? Like, oh, I have something already kind of good. Like, how do I grow? How to break into the market? And with there's so much noise happening right now, especially, all the COVID consultants, right?
Yeah.
So, now in this recession, maybe they might start dropping like flies. So we'll see. Thanks for that introduction. And now I want to know, what are you focusing on right now and why?
Yeah, I mean, that's my big focus. It really is, the name of the business is what it is, right? And I'm focusing on focus, which sounds ridiculous. But when I had my agency, I mean, I asked myself, and when I was naming my business, I was like, what was missing? Like, what was the one thing that was missing out of my business and my life? And it really was focused. And that's where Focus First came from, is this, not only myself, but seeing it in so many other business owners. So what I'm focused on now is helping others focus. It's helping them focus their business, but being very aligned with the life that they want, the reason why they created a business in the first place, which is so easy to miss, right? We get to this point where we're trading and we're sacrificing the now for later, right? We're worried about, or we're saying, business owners are saying, hey, I can work long hours, I can not pay myself, I can do all these things because later the payoff's going to come later. It's always going to come later. And you know what? It might, but let's align you with a business that is very much a catalyst for what you want now.
Okay, gosh, thanks for explaining that. So you're focusing on focus. Awesome. I know it sounds redundant, but I know how it is. I mean, I experienced like the struggle of how to focus. Like, it's something that I am all the time. I know, like, where your focus goes, your energy flows, right? So I'm always like, okay, I want to concentrate on this. Let's not get distracted with social media, not get distracted with bells and whistles that are not like, it will improve something, but it's not the priority right now. It's not what it should be focused right now. So I understand that very well.
Yeah, when you make a decision, focus isn't hard to find. It's really just making a decision. It comes down to one thing and deciding what it is you want. And if you are going after and you decided you're going to buy a red Jeep, what kind of car do you drive?
Kia Optima. Black.
Yeah,
Kia Optima. Yes.
So if you want that, whatever that next car is for you, and you're like, yes, I want that car, I want this color, right? All of a sudden, like, you're starting to think of that, right? You're trying to think of how am I going to go do that? You're starting to see them out in the world more. And so the same thing happens in your business, right? When you, or another example is, emotionally, like when you're upset or mad at somebody, right? And you just, all of a sudden you're consumed by negative thoughts. Like you're just continuing to be mad and find excuses to be mad and come up with more things in your head. And so your brain just works in this way that pushes you in that direction. So when you make this decision that you want to grow your business and you want to do it with less time, you just simply make that decision. Like, I'm going to help you all day long with systems and processes and everything, but you can do it on your own because you're just ingrained in that, right? The rest of your operating system in your brain and your body and everything just comes together around that decision and helps you find the pathway there. So that's what I'm excited about, getting people to really find that direction. What is that decision you need to make?
Yeah, and it all comes with strategy, because I want to get, like, after you define your destination, where do you want to go, where you want to get, and then you're here. So now it's like, how do I connect those dots in the most straightest line possible, right? Like, what is the path? So that's when I really like the consulting and coaching and all these different things that people are doing it for a reason, because there's a need. And yeah, you can try to figure out yourself and you might do it, but it might take you 2-3 times the time. So if you have more time than money, or more money than time, that's how you take the decisions. And if it's important for you to just, like, I want to get to there, but I want to do it the best way possible, then I'm going to look for help, because I don't know. Right. Yeah. So
and strategy is easy when you simplify. I think that I work with so many different people that want clarity on, how do I get here, right? How do I do this thing? How do I sell this, right? And they want the strategy and they want the plan to say, get to $1 million, get beyond $1 million, get to 7 figures, get to 8 figures. But when you're able to simplify everything down to, in my case, it's simplifying the delivery, simplifying the target, then the strategy becomes super easy, right? It's super complex, and there's so many moving pieces when you're trying to do too many things. So the answer really is just simplifying. And so going back to what I said about making that decision, that all aligns so much easier. I think when we say something like, oh, I want to make $1 million, but then on the back end, we have, 20 different ways to do that within our business, then we get overwhelmed and things kind of get derailed. But when you're like, I want to make $1 million selling this one set of services or this one group of services packaged together, it all of a sudden becomes easier, because now I need to find this exact person and I need to go find that person over and over and over again, right? The formula becomes a lot easier. It becomes formulaic, really.
Yeah, that's something that I always think about, because I'm always thinking about how to simplify stuff, like, because everything is strategy. Because after you have a roadmap, after you have the path, it's just, when it's doing the work, it's easy. Like, it's just like, just show up, do the work. Especially if you do the strategy right, then it's just follow the steps, easy, right? So that's why I'm very big in strategy. I mean, this podcast gets posted under the Strategic Advisor Board channel, obviously, Strategic Advisor Board. So that's why I learn a lot that from Jason, because the strategy is his thing. And that's how I became, like, I call myself a PR strategist, because it's all about the strategy. Because PR specialist or whatever, it's like, it's your specialty, but really it's strategist, because that's what matters. Like, what's the strategy given the resources that you have? And then after that, just apply, just plug and play. So big fan of strategy.
For sure.
Let's you already gave some advice, but is there any other advice that you want to give, either to business owners in general or to your younger self if you were to restart?
Yeah, I came across this phrase not too long ago that really stuck with me, and it coming onto this podcast was thinking in those terms, and like what would I have told myself? And it really comes down to making a life, not a living. And which really aligns well with focus, because when I had my agency, quick story here, when I had my agency about halfway through a 7-year journey, I was just completely ingrained in my business. And what I said earlier, right? Like, I was sacrificing the now for the later. and found myself working long hours, like 80 plus hours, 10 p.m. on the weekends. And I remember one Saturday in particular, it was dark out, must have been 9 or 10 o'clock at night. I had missed my daughter's soccer game, and my wife had called and said, gave me the news, updated me. She's very understanding, and said, your daughter scored a goal. And I was just like heartbroken, like head down on the table, staring out into the black abyss of night, just like trying to imagine like what it would have looked like instead of actually being there. And that was a big critical point in my life that I said, enough's enough. Like, why am I doing this? Like, I'm making money, I'm doing it okay. Idea like the future is going to be so much better. And I think everybody does that. As a society, we're kind of ingrained in that. And so not only did I find my way out of it, but now that's the passion that I have behind this, that I work with people over and over again. And they just keep telling me things like, yeah, I'm not paying myself right now because it'll be all worth it later. And we don't know what tomorrow brings. I hate to, sound that way, but you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So like, live your life today. There's so many moments that I missed because I was working for somebody else or, trying to do better at my business. And I'm saying you should go and throw everything away, but make a balance. One of the first things I tell people when they say, yeah, I really want to take, 4 or 6 hours off per week, or 8 hours off per week. So I tell them, just do it. like you don't need my help or permission. Just put it on the calendar and say, 6 hours, boom, I'm not working then. I've done it multiple times with multiple people. And guess what? They still get the rest of the work done, right? Everything else still works, and they're happier because now all of a sudden my one client, he gets to spend 6 extra hours per week with his daughter that he didn't have before. And all I did was gave him permission to do it. So that's a long advice pathway, but that's really it. Make a life, not a living, right? Focus on what you want in life and why you're doing what you're doing. Make sure it's aligning very, very closely with that.
That's a good story. And I love it because I do PR, storytelling, that's my thing. That's what I love. And that's the reason that I picked this as a career, as my industry, because as humans, we're storytellers, we're natural storytellers. So when I hear you telling me that story, like I'm visualizing it, right? And I'm feeling the pain, I'm feeling everything. And that's why I really like doing this stuff and doing PR, because it's just putting those stories out there through trusted resources, or trusted sources that then now people can actually like stop them from scrolling, read it, and feel like, okay, this is coming from a trusted source, not like somebody just decided to just put it out there and that's it, right? Like there's intention behind it. There's more than just like a random post in Facebook or something, right? It's more authoritative, and that way people are more open and receptive to actually take it out of their time, of their day, to read it and engage if they feel the need to, right? So that was great. And they're also like touching up on challenges and something that you learn from it, a challenge you learn from it, and that is something valuable that you would like to share with the audience. I know that you already said a couple things. Is there's anything, another challenge that kind of stands out that you want to share with the audience?
Yeah, it's there's lots of challenges in running a business, of course. Challenges in running a consulting business aren't any different. And it's this, I guess somewhat recently, it's about, and I heard Todd Brown talking about this, that the difference between people that are successful and those that aren't, the ones that aren't are sitting around trying to perfect it and trying to get that confidence behind what they're selling and pushing out there into the world, and versus those that realize that they're going to fail 9 times out of 10 before they find that one thing. And so obviously the successful people are the ones who are taking action. And after hearing that, I've heard it time and time again, but for whatever reason, it stuck with me that one time. And looking back through my life, I'm very analytical. I'm a consultant, so I'm analyzing your business all day long. So I default back to thinking and overthinking. And in the past, like definitely like guilty of that. Like I gotta perfect all this. I have to have my process down pat. Once I do that, everything's gonna become easy. Instead of just going out, taking action, and then, getting feedback from there and continuing. It's like the scientific process, right? It's proven in this world that the scientific process works. So go out, experiment, go do it, and then, use the feedback to continually improve. So big challenge for a lot of people, because they just don't have the clarity in what they're selling and they think they have to perfect it. And so I help them with that. I help them see this, right? I help them see the fact that it doesn't have to be perfect. We'll get you the next step. We'll get you the next step in clarity and confidence so you can go out and sell, but then take action and then use that to be successful.
Yeah, that's I completely agree with you on the fact that like people get stuck on just perfecting things and they don't go out there. And I always like I had that fight too of like, let me not overthink this. Let's take action. So I always had that like in the back of my mind, telling myself to like, hey, imperfect action is better than no action. So like just move. And then when you said about the scientific method, like the hypothesis, like, okay, I think this is gonna resonate with the market. Let's test it. Go test it out. Did it resonate? Did it? Like offer and demand, like do I have to increase the price? Do I not? Like what's happening? I got the first client. If you're trying to test something, you can offer like a free trial, different things, trying to get market data also just by calling and doing research to people. So yeah, like I'm a science and math guy, so that's what I studying.
Thomas, what is it? The famous Thomas Edison story that everyone talks about, right? How many light bulbs he had to invent and create before, then fail before he found the one. I forget what the number is, but it's obviously in the hundreds or higher. Just over and over again, just keep going, testing. I think this is going to work. It doesn't, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, super frustrating and can be, but keep pushing forward. Consistency is key in anything you do to succeed.
Yeah, it sounds simple, but that's like the main thing about like people struggling, because consistency is not about motivation. It's about like, I know I have to do something and I just have to do it. It doesn't matter if today I feel motivated or not. It's just discipline. Discipline and consistency go hand in hand. If you don't have no discipline, you won't be able to be consistent. And it's funny how like every interview that I do is different, but there's all of those keywords. There's all like consistency, discipline, strategy, and like not overthink things, take action. Imperfect action is better, like all those different things. And I love it because it helps me too, because it's something that that's why I'm very careful with who are my guests, who are my clients, because I'm consuming this content all the time, like because I'm listening right now, like I'm listening to you right now. I'm gonna listen to it later when I'm trying to do the description stuff. I'm listening after it comes out because I want to let me see the final product, all the stuff. So that's why I'm very careful of the content that I'm consuming and the people that I'm surrounding myself. But when I do it right, like I feel like you have a lot of create a lot of like it's thought-provoking phrases and stuff that I'm like got me thinking. So refreshes my memory of like the things that I even told myself, but you can never tell yourself enough to be disciplined, consistent, all these different things. So
yeah, it's hard. It's definitely hard. My son is 16. He has dreams of playing in the major leagues, which is what, like 0.0001% chance, something like that. And I'm not going to shoot that down, right? We're going to continue and we're going to focus. And I gave him the mantra of goals, focus, and discipline, and said, look, know what you're going after. Make sure it's one single direction, and have the discipline to do what you need to do every single day, right? That discipline, and that last part is the hard part. It's knowing that I have to do something every day. And if you can't do 60 minutes, do 30 minutes. If you can't do 30 minutes, do 10 minutes, right? Do something every single day and you're going to get there. It's compounding. It's a compounding effect, like in banking.
Definitely. And if you get him on the mindset of, look, you want to be a major league, is the best of the best. And it's not just US, it's the whole world that could want to go to the league. So it's you have to be like, I gotta wake up earlier than my competition. I gotta work harder than my competition because there's always the factors of like, there's people that's genetically advantage, so then you got to work harder than those people that already are
always somebody better,
so you have, and it's like especially MLB, that's one thing that there's all kinds of sizes, all kinds of different things. So if you're good, you're good, like the genetics, there's certain advantages and stuff, but like in general in baseball it's super hard. So obviously if you work harder than most people, then there's the chance there. And there's so many different positions, maybe you want to get an MLB, but maybe you didn't get to like the starting, but then you work your way up. Like there's so many ways, right? So as long as like just you teach your kids about the discipline, consistency, and having a North Star, that it's like, this is my purpose, this is what I want to do, and even when things get hard, I will be able to do this because this is like, I have my North Star, that it's like, even when everything gets hard, I can look at that and like, okay, this is the reason. This is hard, but I'm gonna keep pushing. So, you know, that's what I'm say.
100%.
But yeah, so it's Geoff. Sorry.
Yes.
Oh, Geoff, thank you for taking the time. Sorry, I'm like, it's just like the Spanish maybe is just forcing me to try to pronounce letters that maybe that, you know, I don't have to pronounce. So
Yeah.
But thank you for taking the time. I think this is very valuable. Hopefully, I know the internet was a little bit wanky at some points. Hopefully, this audio stays good enough for people to enjoy the value that we covered in this. So thank you for that. And
Sure. It's happy to be on here, and thanks for having me on.
yeah, so just one last thing is I know there's gonna be some people, it's like, damn, that was a good story. He seems like a cool dude. I want to talk to him more. How can people find you?
Yeah, so my website is focusfirst.co. So there's some good videos on there you can watch and check out if you're interested in working with me. But I'm also on Instagram, just GeoffSkadra, Geoff Skadra. Facebook also. Those are kind of my two main. I'm starting to explore TikTok a little bit. I just got my first video with 8 likes on it. I'm super pumped. It's still going.
Let's go.
Yeah. So I may be back on here with my own TikTok dance original at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, like I was gonna say Geoff dance again. I'm just kidding. I just
Don't tell me.
But
Dude, I just went to the Pitbull concert a couple weeks ago. I was all
you probably got some moves there that you didn't even know you had, huh?
Yeah, basically.
No, man, hey, let me know. I'll hop on the trend. Just let me know. We'll do it. Like, cause I'm also trying to break into TikTok too. It's different strategy than Facebook and LinkedIn. So it's like, you know, I'm trying to test things out too. Because I mean, content for me, I'm going big on content. That's what I'm doing. The podcast, I'm taking it to in person soon, because I want to have more high quality content, and in-person connections, obviously it's the best. And like I want to make it so big that people even willing to fly all over the country to just have a moment with Foo. That's nice. What I'm thinking.
Moments with Foo, I like it.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, there's the Joe Rogan experience, so you know, it's like this is just the Foo experience I get, right? So it's just moments with Foo. I got it with the moments because of the strategic advisor board. Like they have like moments is the word that they want to use, so we are congruent at least in that area. And
I see an energy drink in your future soon too, with like Joe Rogan.
Ooh, yeah, no, I definitely
Foo energy. Oh yeah.
Energy. Oh, I like it. Oh man, this was good. This is fun. Thanks for taking the time. And yeah, like so this is Geoff and Foo.
People will remember me more now, so I appreciate it.
Hopefully. Okay, bye.
Thanks for listening to Moments with Foo with your host, Foo. Please leave your feedback and visit strategicadvisorboard.com to get the latest and greatest business advisement on the planet. Follow us on social media for updates, and we will see you on the next episode.